Hello, beautiful soul. There are moments in time when the world stands at a crossroads, when the fate of nations is not decided by kings or armies, but by those who see beyond the present, beyond the veil of mortal power. In the cold forests of Germania, under the vast sky of the north, there lived a woman who spoke with the voice of the divine. She did not wear a crown. She did not wield a sword. Yet her words held more power than armies, her presence more weight than 1,000 warriors. Her name was Veleda. She lived in the 1st century CE, a time when the Roman Empire stretched its hand toward the free lands of the Germanic tribes. But Veleda did not bow. She did not kneel to the might of Rome. Instead, she stood, her feet planted firmly upon the earth of her ancestors, her spirit unshaken, her voice rising like thunder through the forests. And through her, the gods spoke. Today we listen. Today we step into the sacred grove where she prophesied. And through her, we remember what it means to be free. The Seeress of the North, a woman beyond mortal power. Veleda was more than a woman. She was a Veleda, a title given to the most powerful prophetesses among the Germanic tribes. But she was not just a seer. She was the spirit of resistance, the voice of fate, the heart of a people who refused to be conquered. The Romans feared her. The Germanic warriors revered her. And when the hour of war came, it was to her they turned. Not to their chieftains, not to their generals, but to the woman who could see beyond time itself. For Veleda did not fight with weapons. She fought with truth. She fought with vision. She fought with the will of the gods, the prophecy of rebellion when the gods call for war. The year was 69 CE. Rome was at the height of its power, its legions marching across the known world, its emperors ruling with iron hands. But in Germania, beyond the reach of their laws and their arrogance, there was Veleda, and she saw what was coming. She saw the blood in the rivers, the fires in the villages, the chains that would soon be fastened around the wrists of her people. And she spoke. She called upon the Batavi, the warriors of the north, and warned them, "If you do not fight, you will be swallowed by the empire. If you do not stand, you will be forgotten. But if you rise, then the gods themselves will ride with you." And so they rose. Led by their war chief, Julius Civilis, they rebelled against Rome. They struck with the fury of a storm, ambushing the Roman legions, burning their outposts, driving them back into the shadows. And all the while, they carried with them the words of Veleda, because her prophecies were not whispers. They were banners of fire, held high in the hands of those who dared to resist. And for a moment, a brief, brilliant moment, the unshakable empire of Rome trembled. The power of a prophetess, a woman who shook an empire. They say Veleda did not walk among men as others did. She lived alone in a sacred tower, deep in the forests, where only the chosen few could approach her. To see her was to see a being who had stepped beyond the mortal world, who had entered the realm of gods and spirits. Even Rome, recognized her power. They did not dismiss her as a mere priestess. They sent envoys to speak with her, treating her not as a woman, but as a ruler, as a force equal to their emperors. Because they knew, Veleda did not serve kings. She served fate itself. The fall of the Seeress. Chains cannot bind a soul. But even the mightiest prophets are not untouched by fate. Rome, relentless as the tide, struck back. The rebellion of the Batavi was crushed. The warriors who had once fought with the gods at their backs were forced to bow. And Veleda? She was taken. The prophetess who had defied an empire was captured, brought before the very people she had once warned of ruin. But here is what Rome did not understand. They could chain her body. They could imprison her voice. But they could never silence the power of prophecy, because Veleda was never just one woman. She was the spirit of freedom. She was the echo of a truth that could not be buried beneath stone and empire. And long after her name was lost to history, her fire remained. The message of Veleda. Freedom is a sacred fire. Now listen closely, beautiful soul. What does Veleda whisper to you across time? She tells you, Do not bow to false empires. There will always be those who seek to control you, through fear, through power, through the weight of systems that do not honor your soul. Do not give them your spirit. Your voice, your truth, your inner fire is sacred. It does not belong to rulers. It does not belong to tyrants. It belongs to you. And when the time comes, when you feel the weight of chains pressing against your soul, will you rise? Will you be like Veleda? Will you speak, even when the world tries to silence you? Will you stand, even when they tell you to kneel? Because true freedom is not granted, it is claimed. And those who listen to the whispers of the divine, they will never truly be conquered. Closing reflection, the fire that cannot be extinguished. So today we honor Veleda, the prophetess of rebellion, the woman who stood against an empire, the voice that did not break, even in chains. Her tower may have fallen. Her name may have been nearly erased, but her truth still burns. It burns in the hearts of those who refuse to be controlled. It burns in the voices of those who speak, even when fear demands silence. It burns in you. And so, until next time, may your spirit never be chained. May your voice rise like a storm. And may you always stand for the fire of truth, no matter who seeks to extinguish it.